Robbie here. Listen, lots of people have been asking me, Robbie, how have you managed to lose so much weight? And I feel so much better for it. And it has been a journey. But these two little things here, Optimum Day and Optimum Night, have really, really helped me on my weight loss journey. This Optimum Day, what it does, it helps you to curb your cravings. It really helps with your metabolism and just really just stabilizes things. And I swear by this, I absolutely swear by this. And then the Optimum Night, what this one does, I take these before I go to bed at night, helps you to have a much better, deeper sleep, makes you relax, makes you sleep, and makes your body recover. And these pills, I mean, listen, they're not magic pills, but they're all natural, and they have really, really helped me in my weight loss journey, and I really, really swear by them. So if you want to get your hands on these, scan the QR code in the description right now, or click the link down below, and you can get 70% off your first order with the Optimum Day and Optimum Night by Oxford Natural. As I said, these have been essential tools in my weight loss journey. Of course, there's no magic to it. You've got to eat less, you've got to go to the gym, you've got to do all those things. But these two have really, really helped me, and I recommend them very, very highly. So once again, if you want to get them and get 70% off your first order, all you've got to do is scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description, and you get 70% off your first order.
And welcome back to the Predicted 11 after defeat at Aston Villa. Now, we've got to pick the bones out of this because we've got Brugge Champions League game. And the word that I'm hearing all the time at the moment, knackered.
Knackered.
Tired.
We are knackered.
Now, is that, you know, like if you keep telling someone that they're tired, keep telling someone they're knackered, they will be knackered? Mm-hmm. Or is it just like, it's just a little blip, get on with it, like, you know?
I'm knackered watching the games. Watching them every 3 days. I'm knackered going to the stadiums. Can't imagine what it's like to play 90 minutes three times a week. I know that they're professionals and they get the nice massages every single day, but they're still humans. They're knackered. Some of them. Some
of them need a rest, some of them don't. I agree with you to a certain degree. I think, like, I don't think it was fatigue, don't think it was anything like that on Saturday, if I'll be honest. I felt that we was beaten by the better team when I look back on it. And if you ain't got your best defenders playing, you're always going to struggle. And I look back at the game and I just felt that as two central defenders who have only just come into the team, we're playing one-on-ones at quite a lot of that time, like, you know, like a bit brave, but we was still being all overrun, all that. Like, if I'll be really honest, don't want to go too much into Arteta. I think he tactically got it wrong.
I agree. I think our approach was not the... I don't think there was much wrong with our approach, but the lack of control is what was concerning. Yeah. We didn't have any control. After we scored the goal for 10-15, we were the better side.
Brilliant in that little spell. But other than that, nothing. Got to say the same at Sunderland. Poor first half.
But let's give credit, though. I thought Villa were unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you have to give credit where credit's due. And I really do. Yeah, I thought that they were really, really good. Don't know how much that took out of them. You know, it took a lot out of Chelsea to get a point against us for them. But what I've noticed in these last three games, and we're going to have to get used to this, is that teams are right up for it. Just speaking to my brother on the phone before coming in, he's a Spurs fan, and he's going, you've got to get it. Like, all teams really have to put it in, give everything to beat you. And looking at teams like Sunderland, I think that other teams now looked at what Sunderland did and have thought, right, this is how to get Arsenal. And our away form hasn't been good enough in the last three games, away from home.
Not at all. I think that it stems from these two being gone.
Yeah.
It's the lack of composure and control that we've had with them in.
I heard you say something on the previous show. I was listening in the production room. Very, very good it was, like, you know, when you said we missed their calmness, and I think that's a key. We was just talking about Nketiah, right? You said he had a good game. Me, I thought, he had a good game, but a game that I expect a centre half at this level to have. But I always felt nervous when he got the ball because I felt there was a mistake in him. When Gabriel and Saliba get the ball, I don't feel that there's going to be a mistake with them two guys.
Yeah, you also have to put into context that anyone who replaces these two, respectfully, is not as good as them.
Yeah.
So we are going to be a little bit less comfortable without them. But I thought he was very good. I thought he'd done what he needed to do. But then you've got that. He's got that in him, which these two don't have, which is a little mistake that could cost us a game that did. I'm not saying these two don't make mistakes, but that at the end, neither of them would have done that. They would have got it long. They would have either given it back to Raya. They just wouldn't have booted it out for a throw-in.
Yeah.
That's not their bag. And you at this level, you have to be pretty much perfect.
Yeah, to do it, like.
And they are, and we missed that.
We missed that, but we got Brugge on Wednesday.
Bruges, an opportunity.
You making loads of changes?
I'm making the most changes you've ever seen.
Oh, right, you are right. So where are you going with goal? In goal? We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Honestly, keep him at home. What does he need to get on a plane for? Does he need a bit of jet lag? No.
Do you reckon they go by? I reckon they go by Eurostar on this one. I don't know.
Actually, probably. Well,
don't know.
Little PJ.
Little little PJ.
They're
do you
not
reckon?
getting on the train.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to know. So I'm with you, Kepa. I think Kepa comes into this game. I think Raya was brilliant, actually. That's one of his best games. Made some really good saves, and was exposed more than he has been in for a long, long time. And I felt kept us in it with a couple of good saves. But I think, just to give him a break, I'd play Kepa now,
Always kills me when keepers let it through their legs. I know it was a great finish, but just fucking close your legs.
Yeah, close your legs. It's just one of those things, wasn't it? You know what I mean? So
he's good, he was good. But Kepa, who every game that he's played so far, I think has been...
Yeah, he's done all right, and I think he deserves a chance to play in this game, you know what I mean? I think, we've got this game and... Wolves Saturday, where I think we can give a few players a good little mini sort of break.
Yeah, which they need. And then, like you say, a little week off after that.
Yeah.
So this could be the turning point.
Yeah, I think this is it. I think these next two games are very, very important for rotation, get the results. But I also think it's important that some of our players get some rest. I don't want to see Declan Rice until Everton, if I'll be honest.
Benny White?
Yeah, Benny White.
What did you make of him the other day?
Done okay.
I think he done okay.
Done okay. I thought, fitness levels were okay. There's a chance for that. Listen, that's just something we can talk about because I put him out there at right back on against Villa, but a lot of people have said maybe in hindsight he could have played central defence, kept the full-backs the same that have been playing week in, week out. Because what we've done was by bringing Timber in here, we lost what was going out on the flanks, and they were quite dangerous on those flanks. But I thought Ben White done okay. I don't think he got roasted in that game.
No. But you know what the thing is with White is he's an unbelievable footballer. But sometimes I think he's a bit too calm. There was a couple little flicks that he did that looked careless. They were calculated, and there was also a shot that he had that was also, he could have put a bit more venom behind, but it's sort of just, he's very how do I describe it? Too calm. When you need to be a little bit more nitty-gritty, I feel. I like Ben White, and I think he's a great player to have in this squad, and I actually think he was one of our better players the other day. But maybe just a little bit more focus, I'd say.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that. I think 2 games in a week's been a good thing, but I think he's going to have to play again, and I think that we're going to have to be honest and say that so's Timber. And I know you feel that Salmon should be playing in this game, but we haven't got him.
Timber plays, do you think?
Yeah.
Can I give you a rogue shout before I just put him on the table?
Rogue? Why? That is definitely rogue. Why is that rogue?
Because
why are you saying
I think we've got enough in the midfield, especially players that are looking for minutes, that we can afford for him to drop back and put a shift in at centre-back, which I think he's got the profile to do.
Maybe. I've got him in my midfield, but...
OK, well, let's put him up here for now, but...
we're going to what your midfield's going to be then, But yeah, so Timber and Kepa for me.
Really?
What would you do? Would you bring Calafiori into central defence?
Yeah, I don't think he should be travelling.
Mark, don't forget Calafiori's out for Fulham, suspended.
I just keep thinking...
Fulham, Wolves.
Do you know what I keep thinking about? You talk about dead rubber Champions League games. No disrespect to Brugge and no disrespect to the Champions League, but I think that we are basically through. We can classify this as a dead rubber, given that we've got Kairat at home as well, which we'll probably win. So we're basically through. I keep thinking back to last season when we were 7-1 up on aggregate to PSV, and Gabriel played 90 minutes, and then a couple of weeks later he does his hamstring. Do these players need to play in this game? Does Calafiori need to play in this game? Does Saka need to play in this game?
For me, I think that there's two ways to look at this. It's a dead rubber if you want to think about qualifying, right? But it's also like seedings for the next phases of the competition.
Yeah.
So you need to go high. I think you need to win this game. Then you beat what's their names?
Kairat Almaty.
Kairat, well done.
From Kazakhstan.
That is brilliant. That is why you're here, man. All right. that win those two games, and then the Inter Milan is a complete dead rubber because you're either first or second. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you get first or second, then you've got home advantage in the second leg all the way through to the final. So I do think that it is important from that point of view if you're going to get through. But for me, does it really matter? Like that's the questions that they've got to ask themselves. I don't think it does. But I also think that these two need to be playing because partnerships are important in football.
Agreed.
And that's the only reason why I'm saying that, you know, because we can go on about the squads, you can go on about that, but I don't see our two central defenders back in any time soon. Gabriel, we know, is weeks away. And this Saliba one now is starting to worry me. I keep saying it's a knock. I said that about Gyökeres, he was out for 4 weeks, so I'm thinking along those lines as well, like, you know.
What is going on?
What is going on?
What is going on?
What is going on?
Is it self-inflicted?
Yeah, a little bit. I do think it's a little bit like, you know what I mean, because I go back to what I said earlier on, you know what I mean. William Saliba's got injured on a training session one before the game.
Chelsea.
What sort of injury is it? If it's a muscle injury, you know what I mean, like, I don't think they should be training that hard at the moment. I don't see it. You know, we haven't seen this guy in there for a year now because he went on warm weather training in February.
Yeah.
Right, just after the transfer window, which we didn't buy anybody. We knew that Jesus wasn't there, you know, at that moment in time. And he gets rips his hamstring completely off his bone. What the hell was that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And what also concerns me
and he weren't swimming. I'm telling you that now. Yeah. He wasn't swimming.
What concerns me is why can't they? I don't know if there's any benefit of doing it, but why can't Arteta come out and explain what happened in training, just to give us a little bit of clarity?
Yeah, of it all. And now Mascara's gone down for. We're now saying 6 weeks. 6 weeks
for what?
Well, like an innocuous ankle injury, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously landed awkwardly, has done some ligament damage there, like, you know, so...
Could you imagine if it was Oxlade-Chamberlain? He got a little bit too excited that he's training with the Arsenal.
Well, you know, this is what you got to worry about, isn't it, like, you know, so I don't know. I think there is room for Calafiori to play in this one because he's not playing on...
You think so?
On Sunday, and then maybe he's not going to be playing on... I'm gonna call it, like, you know, I'm putting Calafiori in here, and I want to put him in midfield.
Okay, I thought that was going to be the case. All right, well, let's put him back up here. I want to give a special mention though. I think Marley Salmon, who's one of my most exciting prospects in the academy, been compared to Saliba already. I believe he's 17 years old.
Yeah, I've seen. There's a lot of talk about him, isn't there? Like,
he played in pre-season.
Yes, and done okay.
I went to the Arsenal Bayern Champions League under-19s the other week. He was unbelievable. He looks a level above. I think this is a game where you give him a chance.
Well, it'll definitely be part of the squad.
It'll be part of the squad.
So we're going to go from there, like, you know what I mean? So...
Moving on to midfield, you want to put him in, yeah?
I want to put Norgard in there, first and foremost.
Okay.
Norgard.
About time. I forgot he existed.
Yeah, well, and quite rightly so. Questions should be asked, you know what I mean? Didn't come in on... Wednesday in the game against Brentford, his own team, you know, his old side. So when are you going to play him? Well, I think you've got to play him in cup competition so it gives certain players a rest. And this is now not a big game. And, like, he needs minutes because I think over the Christmas period he's going to have to be used. So I want to see him definitely be playing.
I can't believe he didn't come on against Villa or Brentford. But Villa, when he was on the floor...
Yeah, I think he needed to come on as well. I think we needed to change our tactics in that game, and we didn't. We needed to go 2 holding midfield players, block them, block... What we needed to do was they was getting the balls easily through our midfield into our central defence to their forwards.
Yeah.
So we needed to block that off, and we didn't.
Yeah.
I just felt there were a little few things we got wrong on Saturday, but we had the ascendancy at one stage in that game and we lost it. They wrestled it back. I don't know why. And when they did, that's when I felt we should have made the changes.
Yeah. But they were too quick in transition. Yeah. It literally went from Martinez to Watkins within seconds.
Yeah, seconds. Yeah, and we didn't. So there was bypassing our midfield. So we needed to try and get someone like on the... See if you've got a hole in midfield sometimes, not play on the toes, but just play in and around these two to stop that coming, didn't do it.
But we were also going for the win. Could we have set for a draw?
Listen, we did, and when we opened, we was very, very open. I think a little bit of naivety from our point of view, like when you've got a makeshift back four, don't expose it at times, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just don't know.
Well, if he was fit, we would have probably brought him on for a back five.
Yeah. I think if he would have been fit, he probably would have played.
Yeah.
And then, you'd bring Ben White on at some stage, so... I'm going for it.
Your boy.
I'm going for
Lewis Skelly midfield.
Oh, I want Skelly in my midfield. It's time.
It's
time for Miles Lewis Skelly to play in midfield, Obviously, after this game, he'll be going back here, but he has got an opportunity to play in midfield in this game.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? And I think this is the one.
That
gives him a break and him a break.
Well, look, I think maybe we make our own category for players that shouldn't even travel.
One of them's got to travel.
Don't agree.
Don't agree.
Do you know what? I'd rather recall Zinchenko and stick him.
Don't agree. You want to foul that, you know what I mean?
I think I'd rather recall Zinchenko than bring these two.
Right, OK, well, we'll talk about this. So who's going to be your midfield man in there?
I'll put the skipper in.
You're going to put the skipper in again?
I'll put the skipper in. I thought I thought the reaction from our fan base from his performance the other day, I don't know if you're part of that. I thought it was good the other day. And I
thought he played well.
I can't believe how many people are going against...
I wouldn't say he was man of the match, but he done OK. He played well.
Yeah, I don't know what Kylian's on about there, but he kept it ticking.
He kept it ticking, but the one thing he didn't do was create, or so they're saying, right? But it was his pass that led on to Saka for the one that went across for Trossard.
Yeah.
He had the shot, which was brilliantly saved by
Martinez. I don't know if that was going in.
I think he's going to hit the bar, but he could have come down and hit Gyökeres on the knee and gone in. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Off the mouth.
Who knows? So I'm with you. I'm playing Odegaard in this game. If he's not playing there, I want to see Wanyeri. Right, but I've got another position for Wanyeri.
Okay.
Right, I think Wanyeri needs to play, and I'm looking at Madueke and I'm looking at Saka. I'm going to rest Saka.
Yeah.
And I'm not been happy with Madueke's performances. Last two coming on, so I'm putting Wanyeri out there.
You didn't think he was right against Brentford?
Done OK against Brentford. He started in that game.
Yeah.
Done all right.
Yeah.
But faded.
He takes a while to sizzle.
He was poor when he come on. Can I say, he come on against Villa. I honestly think taking Saka off was another mistake. Great. Because I think he come off and we dropped again. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel that he's had a couple of opportunities, and why hasn't which is fair enough, but why hasn't Wanyeri had those sort of opportunities?
Yeah.
That's my argument, you know what I mean? He's come straight back from injury, hasn't really done that much. So I do want to see Wanyeri in. So if Odegaard's rested, I want to see Wanyeri in now.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. But my right-hand side is a little bit different from yours.
Go on, who are you going for? Oh, you're going for Max?
I'm going for Max, personally. Youngest player to ever start in a Champions League game, he would be, if he starts. You don't agree?
I don't know. It's a good shout.
Because you want him in midfield, and I don't hate it. But personally, I'd give him a rest. I played Wanyeri in the middle, and I'd play him on the right.
Yeah, I can see that.
He probably won't start, so let's put him back up there. But I don't.
But and let's be really honest, he ain't going to start there now, is he? Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be
Marino. Yeah,
it's going to be him.
Right. But so this is the thing. This is your show. Are you going with what you think Arteta's going to do, or
well, you know, we're going predicted what we predict that he's going to do.
Okay, yeah.
So like that's how I see it. Like,
I mean, this is fucking ridiculous, Lee. This is ridiculous. He shouldn't be anywhere near the team. He shouldn't be anywhere near the team.
Right, okay. Well, we'll take him out then.
He shouldn't be playing.
Right, he's coming in then.
Skelly plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He won't start.
Right, okay.
Okay, now that's looking a bit better. I still just do not think Timber should be playing. I know Timber plays basically every minute and he always gets, he's never injured. But he's done his ACL and it always makes me feel a little bit sick when he plays in games that he shouldn't.
It's not as physical and demanding for him playing central defence as it is right back, like in far as running's concerned, you know what I mean? Like, so, you don't think Saliba's going to be back?
Nah, and if he is, he ain't travelling. This is probably what I'll go with. But front three is interesting.
Right, the front three is interesting, yeah. What are you going for?
Ethan will start, I think. Ethan will start. I think Arteta's probably hearing the noise. I think that he's been very, very unlucky. I think that, I don't actually think this, but he probably despises him because he's come in and taken all of his glory. But last season, he was, as well as Lewis Skelly, he was our shining star.
Yeah,
he was one of the only positives.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel that there's got to be, like, if he doesn't play this game, then you're asking him to play 2 weeks' time against Palace in a
Carabao Cup
quarter-final and expecting him to do well.
Yeah.
So I think he needs minutes. So I'm going with you. I'm going with you on that. Do I think it'll happen? No, but you know what I mean?
You don't think he'll play?
No. Personally, you want my three? What I think he's going to go with? I think he's going to go Gyökeres.
Yeah, agreed.
Right. I think I'm going to say now wants to get him in there.
Martinelli's got a good record in the Champions League, though, Lee.
All right, yeah. So I would play Martinelli out here.
Yeah.
Right. Trossard's down now, so Martinelli needs to get some game time and some good positive minutes under his belt. I think he's done okay he ain't done nothing brilliant. He needs to start shining now. So let him there. And I would say that I think it would be Madueke out there.
You think so? Interesting.
That is what I think.
Rogue shout?
No, I think he's going to get minutes in this game.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if he'll ever kick a ball.
Do you think you could put Wanyeri in there?
I think he could.
No Eze in this team, by the way.
No, I wouldn't start it. I'd give him a rest, Eze. I'd give him a rest. Didn't look like he fancied it the other day, and I don't know if that was him preserving his energy.
Let's put the injured players out over here at the moment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not going to be about. Right. You're saying not these travelling.
Shouldn't travel.
These are not travelling.
No. Don't even put them on the board. They shouldn't even be on the board.
So our substitute bench is very. He's only got 3.
Get them on. Go on. Don't travel. Don't need jet lag. Don't even travel.
So Trafford comes in there.
Huh?
Trafford. Stepford. Sorry. Stepford comes in there. Sorry.
Yeah. Salmon.
Yeah.
Andre Anous.
What about Saka? He's travelling?
Get him, God. What's he doing up there? I forgot about him. So the bench is looking like this Dalman.
So
and Airport Albert.
I'll take me boots. I think they'll travel. I think all the players will travel.
Okay. Interesting. But I look at this team and I think that this is... Not him. But I think that this is probably the team that he'll go for. Spot on.
We've got Wanyeri under there as well.
Yeah, we do.
So we've got We've got a couple of substitutes.
I actually think that, sorry, we've been a little bit messy, my fault. I do think that Wanyeri will start. I do think he'll start.
I think Wanyeri's going to. That's what I would. That's what I would do. That would be my team.
Okay, interesting. My team would be Salmon over him.
Okay, and obviously, I'd like to see him in there, but that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's it. So right,
Let's talk about him.
Let's talk about him. I was disappointed. I know we played well when he came on for that first 20 minutes, but that Declan Rice cross, and for him and him, more him than him, definitely him, not being in the box.
Got to be in there. Haaland's there.
Haaland would have loved that. I think Ian Wright, any centre forward,
Vardy.
yeah, eyes would have lit up to that ball because it was just a tap-in.
It was a tap-in. You've got...
Get in the box there.
Come on, Victor, you've got to be there. Literally, it was on a dime.
It was on a plate. All he had to do was pick up his knife and fork and eat it. That's all he had to do, like, you know.
He's got lovely blue eyes, though, doesn't he?
He's got. Listen, I think listen, I thought, forget about that. His hold-up play was poor. I want to see the real deal from him now on. Because I tell you what, if we're going to win this league, he is the key.
He's got to get at least 10 goals in the league.
You look at, when you talk Man City now, if you're saying, right, take Haaland out of the team, right, they're going to struggle. Well, we've had him out of the team, right, and we've now got him back. And he has got to start scoring and got to start making us look. I don't think we had a discussion on the Forever Arsenal. I don't think our front three's been good enough this season. And Robbie went, well, we've been top scorers. And I'm going to turn around and say, I don't think our front three have been good enough away from home. So
away from home, yeah.
I think we've not been good enough. I don't think we've looked good enough away from home. Don't look like dangerous enough.
Prolific.
Don't look
not prolific.
Don't look dangerous.
But I don't know if that's Arteta's style.
Well, it's got to change because the last 3 games we've not won. So if you're going to carry that on, Everton away, difficult game. Yeah. So for me, like, I want to see us be a little bit more potent up front.
I agree with that. I can't believe he weren't there for that Rice.
No, I know, you know what I mean. I will say in his defence, because he's just coming back from injury, but like, you've had like 45 minutes now against Aston Villa. You've had
Brentford, he came
10
on.
minutes
Chelsea
in that game,
came on.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean. So now, Bruges, you see what you can do, Victor.
Yeah.
Pressure on. Pressure on. In a nothing game. So, like, this is a game where, like, you've got a little bit of a safety net.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then against Wolves, I'm expecting 3.
3 goals this week.
Hat-trick. And if there ain't, I want to know why. All right?
Hat-trick, yeah. To be fair to Gyökeres, he likes it against the lesser teams. No disrespect to Burnley or Forest or Leeds. But those are the teams that he scored against.
That's the games you need to score goals against.
And I'm going to back you for a fucking Hattie on Saturday.
And we're going for it.
And one tomorrow. He'll nick one.
Listen, he's got to start scoring goals. That's what we bought him for. We ain't bought him for his hold-up play. We ain't bought him for this. We ain't bought him for that. Even though that's part of the deal, but the deal is you score goals, mate.
Yeah,
and it starts in Belgium.
Yeah. Prediction? Right. Are you going?
No, I'm doing a watch-along.
Doing a watch-along.
Doing a watch-along, like.
That's
you know
rare.
What I mean? So, rare
appearance.
Rare appearance on a watch-along, yeah.
Give me a prediction, please, Lee.
2-0.
2-0. Goal scorers? You're going to break your finger in a minute.
I know, I've hurt my finger. I've got bruised fingertips, like, you know what I mean?
OK, I like it a lot. I like that. I'm going 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah. I think the game will open up. I think he'll bag 1. I think Ethan will bag 1. I think Martinelli will bag 1. And I think off the bench, he's going to make history and he's going to become the youngest ever Champions League goal scorer.
So do you think he'll get on, before we finish, you think he'll get on before Jesus?
Yes. I don't know if he'll kick another ball for Arsenal ever again. He could have travelled the other day. He was playing in a behind closed doors friendly against United. I don't know if he's ready.
OK, that's interesting. He's been on the bench for the last couple. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's our predicted 11. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm going to go and get some plasters for my fingers. I know, but where we go there, we'll be back next for the Wolves game. Well, I'm going to say it now. I'm predicting more changes, so it's not so straightforward. But listen, let's hope we get the job done in Bruges, and we'll be back very, very shortly after that game. Thanks for watching and listening. Put your comments. Who you think's going to score? Should De Victor be the man? Or, more importantly, who is playing out there on the right? Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.